Hi, everybody. My mic was muted. Welcome to Make an Impact Mondays. Lovely to be here with you today. I'm excited to jump in because we have just finished an epic boot camp training. So I haven't seen you since last week and it seems like forever, but we actually went through and walked you through how to build an exceptional high converting boot camp that can lead into your business seamlessly. So taking a lot of people all at one time, having that massive exposure, setting you up as the expert, and then walking them seamlessly into your business. And a lot of you were here and a lot of you took part. Some of you are joining me today inside Launch It Live Academy. This is really exciting. Today, what I want to walk you through is actually the top three things that you need in place in order to launch a successful bootcamp. Now, I know we talked a lot about boot camps, but these are some of the things that I did not talk about. We built the boot camp. Now, this is about the delivery of your boot camp. So if you're here in the comments, say hello. Let me know that you're here so I can see you and I can say hello and we can talk and you can ask questions. Feel free. I've got my comments right here. I can see exactly what it is that you're asking. So we're going to go through the top three things you need in place in order to deliver a really highly successful boot camp. And then what I want you to know is at the end is I'm going to give you an option to get a strategic work a guide and a PDF from me that will actually walk you through the 5 things that you need in your bootcamp. But today I'm going to take you through the top 3. So again, say hi in the comments. Tell me if you're live or if you're team live or if you're on the replay. I'd love to say hello to you. All right, let's get into this. So one of the things, and it's funny because you might think, well, this is a no-brainer, Lori, but one of the things that you need in order to have a successful launch, hi, Nicole, a successful launch is you need a winning strategy. Now, I'll be very honest with you. Everybody can do a boot camp, I think, but not everyone has a profitable one. And so what happens is these are the top 5 things. After doing boot camps for a decade and then showing my ladies what they need in order to do their boot camp, these are the top 5 things you really need in order to make that launch profitable, right? We want our launches to be filled with our ideal clients. We want our launches to be engaging. We want people getting massive value. We want to be, shouting out to all of our people. And then in the end, you obviously want people to be the right people to be joining your business. And so when I've actually had, hundreds of women come through this process, what I'm seeing is they have the strategy, say perhaps for the boot camp, or they want the strategy for the boot camp, but what's missing is the strategy on the other end. So what's happening after the boot camp? And you might think, well, I'm leading them to my business. Yes, but I'm seeing that it's not always as clear as you want it to be. So you need to really sit down and know exactly where you are leading your people. Where are they coming after the boot camp? Because between the boot camp and when you invite them into your business, there's that whole portion of onboarding. And if you've never heard that term or you haven't been doing that properly with your people, that is a big leap, right? The boot camp ends, your course or your program is going to begin, or your network marketing products are going to be ordered. What's happening in between? This takes a lot of clarity on your part, right? So I've seen when women come into my academy, I've seen women say, well, they're coming to my business. Okay, what's happening in that business? Where are you leading them? What's the transformation they're getting? Where are they in pain right now? Where are you taking them through your products or through your coaching? What's happening in the process? So when women are coming in or men are coming in or whomever are coming in, your ideal client to your business, are you really clear about what's happening? Do you know the exact steps that everybody should be taking in order to come into your world? It's very important that it's streamlined, that it's on purpose, that it's intentional, right? So at the end of your boot camp, and a lot of us are always worried. I know as entrepreneurs, we're always worried about our content. But these three tips I'm sharing with you today is about the delivery of that content in your boot camp. Flushing out your boot camp, we did that last week, right? If you missed it, stay tuned. We're going to do it again in the spring. But right now, I want you to be thinking about once your boot camp is done and you've taught, right, and shown how you're an expert in your field, where are you taking your people? Are they buying your kick ass course? Are they joining your 6-month program? Are they becoming a business builder in your network marketing company? When you are clear as to where they are going and then what you're going to do with them, you can kind of start to backward design your bootcamp. And that's what I do with my ladies. In fact, as a teacher and university professor for over 20 years, all of my lessons that I did in my classroom with my students or with my, my adults in university who wanted to become a teacher, we always did a backwards design. You shouldn't front load your boot camp with the content you think your people want to learn. Or sorry, more importantly, with the content that you think you want to teach. It's not about you. So when you have a clear idea about where your people are going, and then the transformation that you're offering, you can start to move your way backwards to your boot camp. That is part of the winning strategy, right? That's what we do in the academy. The ladies come in and that's where we start. We don't start with their boot camp, we start with their offer. It's so imperative. It's so imperative to the success of your boot camp that if it's missed, this may be one of the reasons why your challenges, your live events, your boot camps, whatever you want to call them, aren't hitting the mark. Okay? And then another thing about your boot camp, and I alluded to this very, very quickly last week when we were actually talking about the boot camp, is every day of your teaching, whether it's a 3-day boot camp, it's a 4-day, 5-day, 30-day, I've seen people do, however many days it is, you want to make sure that each of your boot camp days build on one another. It's like a snowball catching on, right? Going down the hill, getting bigger and bigger and bigger with every roll. It is catching that momentum. That's what you're doing. At the beginning of your boot camp, you're hooking your people. You're like, this is what I have for you. This is what's going to change your life. This is what is going to make the difference in your business, in your health, your wellness, your relationship, whatever it is. When you actually hook them on that first day, your every day subsequent needs to build on each other. I talked about this a little bit. The law of inertia. People love once they're in motion to stay in motion. That's what it is. So when you have people who have found you from all parts of the globe and they're joining you in your 5-day event, right? Your 5-day boot camp, start to really think about how your days can build on each other. What information can you start them with? And then once they have that foundation, how can you build? Right? So these two things go together. Having a winning strategy is key. Good morning, Anne. I'm going to see you very soon after this particular live. How is your winning strategy? Do you have one for your boot camp? Are you thinking, okay, I can go out here and I can wing it and I can just teach these 5 days and then it doesn't work? So if your boot camp isn't converting, I challenge you to go back through this strategic workbook and strategy guide that I have for you. And I'm going to give you the link to it after we're done. It's free. You can download it, walk through it. I actually have questions in there for you to be filling out, really flushing these ideas out. Because without a winning strategy, right, sometimes what's going to happen is our boot camps are going to fall flat. All right. The next things, right? So we're talking about the 3 things that our particular boot camps need to have. First one is a winning strategy. The second one is engagement. Now, engagement is huge, right? We all know that engagement is huge, but do you have it? Do you have it on your lives? Do you have it in your boot camps? Do you have the engagement to spike the algorithm for, your video to be pushed out to more members of your group or wherever it is that you're doing your particular boot camp? Do you have that engagement? Now, I'll tell you very clearly here. If you don't have engagement, your boot camp is not going to convert. It's just that simple. As a teacher and professor for more than 20 years, engagement is key. And I'm going to give you some simple tips that should never be overlooked. Everybody thinks, how do I get engagement? How do I get people answering on my live? How do I get people showing up to the live? But once they're there, you want people to be engaging. So if you were part of the boot camp last week, you will go, the videos are removed, but you would have seen a high amount of engagement. Every single part of that engagement was premeditated before I put the boot camp out. Let me say that again. I do not come to a live and wing it. So I have points that I'm going to talk about, but I also put in those points, right? I also put in those points the part where I want to engage with the people. Now, I'll tell you the best ways to engage with your people are what I have learned over my 20 plus years of teaching. Okay. So I have dealt with the toughest crowd, which is teenagers, and I have to win them over. Right. And the same thing goes in our business. When we are live, how are you showing up online? How often are you showing up online? How excited are you to be online? This is one of my favorite parts of my week is coming here, coming live, talking to you, seeing your comments, reaching out to you, you reaching out to me in the DMs. I absolutely love it. Now, one of the things that you want to do is use people's names. Now, you might think, okay, that's a no-brainer, Lori. You might think, okay, that's so simple that it's silly. The power of a name is crucial. When you're live in your boot camp and people are coming in, and I ask every time I go live, say hello, let me know if you're here. One, it helps me because then, if I'm here and you can't hear me, a lot of the times my ladies that are live will say, Lori, there's a problem. And it's a great way to communicate. But I want to know if you're here. If you're taking the time out to be here and learn what I have today, let's at least have a little bit of a conversation. So I said hi to Nicole and I said hi to Anne because when they first came on, they told me they were here. Now, what I do, I'll tell you right now, my setup right here is I have my laptop on a stand-up desk, and right beside me, right here on this little stand, is my phone. And on my phone is the live in the Facebook group. And the volume is turned down. Noelle is here. Ursula is here. Awesome. And so what happens is I can see my screen. I can see my camera. I can see myself. And then I can also see you. So when you are able to say someone's name and reach out to them, it is imperative. If you just sit here during your launch, your lives, and you're just talking at the screen and you're not interacting with your people, they are less likely to stay, right? So I appreciate those ladies putting their names into the comments and saying hello. Because when you can have engagement in your lives, it boosts your algorithm. So let's just talk about what's happening here. We're in a Facebook group. And everybody, right, is who has said they're coming to this or is tagged in it will get a notification. But what happens is when Ursula and Nicole and Anne and Noelle, when they start to engage in the comments, right, by saying hello or dropping their favorite emoji, right, or whatever it may be, we'll get to that in a minute. Facebook says people are liking what I'm saying, and they'll start to push it out to more people in your group. So if you can't remember to engage with your people, right? If you can't remember, then put it on a sticky on your computer, put it in a script if you're working from it. Always remember that on the other end, you have people who are watching. And so you want to engage with them. It actually will get your people to stay longer and it will boost the algorithm, right? And then, for example, like I said, last week we did 9 days of coaching, free coaching around how to build your boot camp. And I'll tell you, when this happens and you keep showing up, Nicole keeps saying hi, Ursula says hello, Noelle is pitching in, Anne is dropping her favorite emoji. When that happens, you get to know your audience, right? And you'll be able to say, hey, I recall that, Janet lives in Georgia and she has a flower shop. Right. And once you start to be able to know people, I know Nicole does lashes. I know I'm going to know very soon what Noelle does and Anne, right? Because they're part of the academy. Ursula, if you tell me what your business is, I can see in the comments. And that's how you get to know your people. Ask for those questions, those simple questions. Where are you from? What's the weather like, right? How was the weekend? Show me with an emoji. Are you stuck in your business? Put up a hand. Something that's not very threatening and easy for people to reach out and say. Say hello to your attendees, greet them when they're on, right? Paparazzi. I love it. The jewelry, right? I love that. So now I know Ursula, and I can tell you because when she comes on my lives, like on Mondays, then I'm going to remember that. I'm going to get to know her. I'm going to get to know that she does paparazzi jewelry. I'm going to get to be able to talk to her about her business. Maybe I'll even use Ursula and her business in my teaching that I do live. That's the power of somebody's names. So if you can't even remember, right, what to ask your people, just respond to them when they say hello. It will make all the difference. And I'm telling you, ladies, engagement is so key, not only in your lives, but in your boot camp, because when you call people out, when you're recognizing them, when you're putting them kind of like out there for everybody to see and hear, they are more reticent to stay and come back. Does that make sense? So if this makes sense that you're going to start to use names in your lives and you can just say yes, 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 yes in the comments, because this will change the momentum of not only your lives, but your boot camp. Because if you have a boot camp that's kind of, you think of an EKG, right? So when you're dead, you're flatline, you're like, meh, right? There's no action. But what you want is bump, 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 right? Noelle's giving me the hands, right? You want that little dips of engagement. You don't have to have people, constantly putting something in the comments and then you're always looking here in the comments and you're never actually doing the teaching. It's a beautiful balance that you have to work through. So that's why using a name, right? It's such a small strategy, ladies, but it's an effective one. Now, if you, right, if you have children, if you have children, you have to put me in the comments because any mother, right, who's watching this knows, or even if you have like a niece or nephew that you've worked with, everybody who has dealt with children know that people, especially little ones, work harder for praise than a raise. And I don't just want to say just children do, but it's very evident when we give our children a raise, right? Nicole has kids, she knows this. Ursula, you know this, right? When you praise your child, you can see their demeanor changes, their face lights up, they're proud of their accomplishment, and they work harder for that praise than like loosely a raise. I'll be honest with you, Noelle gets this. When being a teacher for so long, right, you get to a point where you don't get a raise anymore. You hit the top of your pay grade and you stay there. But I'm telling you, what goes a long way is a little bit of recognition. Do you agree? Do you agree with me that a little bit of recognition goes a long way? So I can look at Nicole, who's been part of the academy and who goes out and she's crushing her lash business, right? She's very passionate about it. She wants to share it with more people. She's doing live, she's making posts. I know that that's what she's doing. She's working hard. Ursula, yeah, she gets it. So use the praise over a raise to your advantage when presenting your boot camp and all of your amazing content, right? When people show up live, when people comment, right? Especially after social restrictions, you're right, Noelle. When people show up live and when they comment and when they engage in that live, when people do the homework, say in your boot camp each day, make sure to acknowledge them and compliment them. This is something we really, really, really dive into in the academy when it comes to presenting your 5-day boot camp. So if you've never done one or if you're gearing up for one this year, make sure that engagement is key. So talking it and bringing and talking to your people and using their names. Another thing that you want to do is keep your energy high. Now, I talk a lot with my hands. I'm very kind of boisterous, right, on here. But what happens is um you don't have to be like this. You want to be yourself online, but you definitely want to keep your energy high. So it doesn't mean you have to be doing a headstand and like lighting your hair on fire to keep people's attention, right? But it does mean that you have to be pumped and excited to be there, right? So remember, the camera naturally depletes your energy. And so while you may feel like you're like, oh, kind of overdoing it, stay connected, keep eye contact through the screen. You may even sweat a little while you're doing it, right? You might feel a little bit of sweat from your back, but let people feel your passions for your program or your products. Okay. Keep it fun, keep it valuable, and keep it moving at a good pace. Now, inside the strategy guide and workbook, I actually have some things that you can dive into and use as part of engagement. So you want to make sure that you're getting that if you don't have that PDF after this. The third and final thing, ladies, that you want to make sure that you have when you're doing your boot camp is a perfect pitch. Now, I think there's a movie called this, I'm not quite sure. But a pitch is when you basically invite people to your business. You invite them to your program. You invite them to your business opportunity. You invite them to your coaching. And if you don't do this in the right way, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, my women, don't fret. When you're inside the academy, you get my actual pitch script, right? That I have used for quite a bit of time and it works beautifully. But I want you to know that inside this workbook, I actually give you things that you can be doing in order to perfecting your pitch. When you finally get to the day in your boot camp where you want to invite the right people, not everyone, but the right people to your business, this is one of the things that you have to keep in mind. It's your pitch. You're officially going to invite your ideal clients to your course, your program, right? Hey, Carrie Curl. When you're opening your cart, as we call it in the business, it's how people can now grab their credit cards and take the next step with you. So, one of the things inside the workbook that I really go into is not talking just about the features. Certainly, you have a number of features, whether it be in your business or it be, in your network marketing business or in your program. But and in network marketing, some of you have thousands of products, and you cannot go into each one. Same thing with a program creator. You cannot go into all of the features of your program. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why? Because that's really not what people are worried about. Yes, it's important and they can go to your sales page or, you can talk to them about the features in an email and all of that stuff. But what's going to convince your people is that you and your business are right for them. It's the transformation that you're going to take them on. So your ideal clients, the people who are looking to solve their problem by buying your solution. So let's take, for example, Ursula. She sells paparazzi jewelry. That is the actual physical product that she sells. But when she's talking to her people about her paparazzi jewelry, one of the things that Ursula can do is start to talk about the solution. Jewelry is the product that leads to the solution. The solution could be feeling more polished, putting on an outfit and finishing it with a beautiful set of jewelry makes you walk taller, makes you feel more confident, right? A beautiful set of earrings around your face brings attention and brightness to it. So she, instead of always leading with her products, Ursula, I want you to do this. I want you to start to talk about why it's important to have the jewelry that you sell. Why does a woman need the jewelry you have, in your home for them to buy? So what's it going to be like once they have this jewelry, right? Here's this beautiful piece. I see a lot of ladies, they showcase the piece. This is number, 590. You describe it. And then every once in a while, stop and start to talk to your ideal client about how your jewelry is going to make their life better. Speak to your solution. Same thing with Nicole and the lashes. She has a physical product. You pop these babies on and you walk out looking like $1,000,000, right? You just do. Your eyes pop, you feel better, you look brighter. So speak to the solution. Your buyers want your solution and they want it now. And they want it with your help and guidance. So be sure to outline what they will get when they complete your course or program or have been taking your network marketing products for a certain amount of time. What is the ultimate solution? What will they have in your life? Hi, Maria. What will they have in their life and their business that they don't have right now? Be specific and paint that picture for them. Okay. Paint that picture for them. So I hope those 3 steps, right? So we talked about having a winning strategy. We talked about engaging with your people during your lives. And then we talked about having the perfect and seamless movement from your free content to the paid content or the paid product or the business. Now, I have a beautiful 19-page strategic guide and workbook that walks you through the 5 things that you need to have in place in order to launch a successful bootcamp. Today, I just talked about 3. I talked about the strategy, I talked about the engagement, and I talked about the perfect pitch. If you don't have my free guide and strategy workbook, I want you to just put in the comments that you would like it, and I'll send it over to you via email. So some of you have come into this group because you had it, but a lot of you are here and you haven't seen it yet. So I actually walk you through 5 strategies that you need in order to make your launch successful. But a lot of these things can help you with your everyday lives, right? So Ursula and my paparazzi ladies, I see you going live all the time. All the time. And so when you're doing that, look to where you want your people to go. What is the purpose of this live? The purpose of this live today is to give you my free strategy guide and workbook. I want to talk about it and highlight it, and I want to gift it to you. Right, Ursula? Yes. And Maria, I'll send that to you, right? As soon as I get off the live, I'll send that to you. I assume I have your emails. If not, I'll reach out to you, ladies. But that's the purpose of this live. We have a strategy for each one. Do you? Do you have a strategy for each of your lives? And it doesn't always have to be to sell, but it can be giving away something. It can be actually, right, giving and asking ladies to engage with you or share the live or whatever it may be. So what I want you to do is to think about your winning strategy, your engagement, and your perfect pitch, and go through the strategy guide and actually think about these things. And the next time you either do a live or the next time you do a launch, include these in there and rock it out. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Thank you for commenting in the comments. If you would like the strategy guide, just let me know in the comments below. We'll get that to you via email. And I will be here next Monday at noon Eastern to share with you another strategy for you to take away and use in your business right away. Thanks, everyone, for being here, and we'll see you next week.